But I mean, we don't have so much time. I'm eager to get you to what I found interesting when you were suggesting solutions to Nigeria. One of the things you wrote here is you said, I personally, I strongly believe in a system like the Swiss.
Yeah.
Talking about the structuring of Nigeria, you think that if Nigeria structures the way Switzerland has structured, it might be very helpful?
The canton system. You need full autonomy. The central government should be advisory. Full autonomy across board. And let the people have the power. Anything wants to happen in Switzerland, there's a referendum. You see, when the center is too powerful, then there becomes a problem in the federal state. The states, the areas, the region have to take full autonomy. They have to be self-sustaining, self-organizing. And when you have that, then that's how you can further governance. The problem with Nigeria is the center is so powerful. I was telling you about the fact that most of the money government made is used on paying salaries of the people in the center. Take all of that away. People should come and serve.
It could be argued that the Swiss are not as diverse as we are in Nigeria. How would
the
you
Swiss
respond?
are not as diverse as we are in Nigeria? How diverse really are we? We're still a largely homogeneous society, the three main ethnic groups. But because they have come to a compromise that they're going to make their country work and they hold themselves accountable. The Swiss too fought wars over the years. The Swiss used to have one of the biggest and the most brutal army, the Pontified Swiss Guard. Do you know today, Switzerland have more guns per capita, per individual, than any nation in the world, even more than America. But you hardly hear gun deaths. So what have they done? They understand what I call the Vulcan theory, that if we all lose, we lose together. And these are the things we should look at very strongly. So that's why I suggest the canton system. Take the power of the center.
Rufai,
and give it to the people.
I'm sorry we have to end it here because of time. Thank you so much for joining us. Very exciting. Maybe we can do this again.
Definitely.
Thank you for joining us.
Ignis is out in stores, you know, and people can get them. And let's just follow the conversation.
Yeah, worth reading. Really worth reading.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
The race to determine this year's winner of Africa's biggest literary prize, the Nigeria Prize for Literature, sponsored by the Nigeria Liquefied and Natural Gas Company, NLNG, is on. Here's the latest news on the prize.
Entries for the 2019 edition of Africa's biggest literary prize were received, and a press briefing was recently held in Lagos to formally hand them over to the advisory board of the prize and then to the panel of judges. The manager, Corporate Communications and Public Affairs of NLNG spoke on behalf of the gas company.
The handover of entries for the Nigeria Prize for Literature to its panel of judges signifies the beginning of adjudication process and sets an agenda for discussions and, of course, activities related to Nigerian literature each year. The Nigeria Prize for Literature rotates annually, and I'm sure for those of us who are conversant, we have 4 genres that the prize touches in the cycle: prose fiction, poetry, drama, and of course children's literature, which is what we're looking at this year. This year, interestingly, marks the 15th year of the prize. And as we know, this is one of the most prestigious prizes in Africa, the $100,000 as prize money. Of course, the focus is on children's literature. Interestingly, this year we have had the highest so far. This year we have 173 entries. 173 entries.
The chairman of the panel of judges shed light on the process involved in picking the winner of the prize each year.
What we do, the advisory panel, the first decisions they have to make relate to the composition of a panel to run the thing, so that the thing is actually run by a panel. And quite recently, we thought to further emphasize the quality of the prize, we should involve an international consultant. So we bring somebody from outside Nigeria at the very last stage of deciding the winner, to advise us as to who should win the prize. At the same time, that the panel of judges is also rounding off its assignment by choosing one winner. But the panel of judges goes through stages. Sometimes they started with, they take 50, then they take 25, then they take 11, then they take 3. But when it comes to the time when they are going to take one, which is the winner, we involve the external advisor, consultant.
The entries were then formally handed over.
For 2019, children's literature, we received 173 entries, and on behalf of NLNG, I'd like to formally hand over the entries received to you. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, on behalf of the advisory board, and I do promise that we will very diligently look into these entries, and I can promise, but the chairman of the panel of judges is going to make his own promise, but on his behalf and on behalf of the panel, I promise that the same kind of attention, of close attention, will be paid to these entries. I'm pleased somehow that I'm not handing this to a total stranger. I know your worth, I know your standing, and I have confidence that you will direct your colleagues in the right way so that you end up with the most worthy recommendation for the award of the prize.
Of entries for the NLLG Prize for Literature, that's the 2019 Prize for Literature, which is in the category of the children's literature. So the handing over of entries took place, and as you were told, we got 176 entries, and the panel of judges were handed over the entries, and we hope to do justice to what has been given to us.
There is something that is close to my heart I want you to understand now. That, first of all, there is a level of denigration for literature, for political life, for everything coming from Africa, from Nigeria. And the whole world is watching us. And this particular prize may be just one of the areas when they want to see whether we are thinkers or not, whether we are even the kind of creation that we should deserve the kind of acclaim we're getting. So if our best would be the worst in the world or among the worst, we shouldn't even clap hands for them. So you should be expecting a very serious assessment. So we should be able to show the world that there are thinkers here and that we have accommodated children in that system of thinking. That is why what LNG has done is very commendable.
Well, I hope you have had a good time with us today. As always, we'll be delighted to get your feedback through any of our social media platforms displayed on your screen. I'm Olakunle Kasumo. Remember, one great book can change your life. Bye-bye.